Hey there, everybody. Sorry for the delay. Welcome to the live fan commentary of The Mummy, the 1999 film. Definitely one of my favorite films from that year. I remember seeing it in the theater with my dad, and honestly, it's one of my first major memories of seeing a film in the theater, like a new film in the theater, and like just being so enraptured and just encapsulated in in the excitement and just being enthralled by it. So that was a pretty epic theatrical experience for me. I don't did you see it in the theater, Matt?
Uh, I might have. It might have been one of those I saw in the theater. Uh, I know there were a couple films that year, The Matrix, Phantom Menace, I did see in the theater, so this might have been
Yes.
one of those as well.
Yes.
Cool.
And want to give a special shout out to Lucas for requesting this video. And so I have a Blu-ray rip on my end. I don't know exactly what Matt is going to be using. So for those of you who have the film ready in whatever format, we're gonna do a countdown. Go three, two, one, and then when we press play. Hopefully, we'll be synced up. But I'll just let people kind of check in a little bit longer before we get started with that. Um, Hi there, Togera.
Cool.
Welcome to Godzilla. I do remember seeing the '98 Godzilla at the drive-in when that came out. um, RJ, yeah, it was a great experience. It had a re-release recently. I didn't check it out though, but it did get a re-release in the theater
Hmm.
for its anniversary. Hey there, Hopium. Thank you for the super chat. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. This is my first of like a well-earned 3 days off from work. Because I worked 6 days in a row. But I'm definitely looking forward to spending some time with my good friend here and with a good movie. Um, would have liked to have seen R-rated. That's interesting because I have some trivia that I'm going to talk about throughout the film in regards to an R-rated version of The Mummy.
I'm fine with it not being rated R because I saw it with Talos the Mummy, and that wasn't that good of a film.
Yeah, The Tale of the Mummy. Wasn't that other
Yeah,
name? Yeah, Russell
yeah, it's
Mulcahy's
Jason
movie.
Scott Lee. Yeah,
Or Bram Stoker's The
wasn't too
Mummy
good.
with Lou Gossett Jr. That was pretty terrible too, and that was R-rated.
Or
Uh,
Dawn of the Mummy.
yeah, which is getting a special edition Blu-ray from some company. I checked out. It was like I was looking on Dawn of the Discs, and then it's getting a special edition, and I'm like, why? That movie sucks. Thank you, Lucas. Once again. Yeah, it's a really fun movie. Oh, well, no wonder you weren't. Hey, it's not an excuse. I was born in '89, and my mom took my newborn ass to Batman. No, but I'm just kidding. But that is what happened. My mom apparently told me that when I was like not even a year old, she took me to the drive-in when they saw Batman.
Very cool.
All right, so I'm gonna close some tabs here because I don't need all this stuff open. And
Yeah,
I got it up here
me
and
too.
three. You got it ready, Matt?
Yep.
All right, three, two, one, pressing play. So we have the opening here with the Universal logo. I
Mm-hmm.
believe Steven Summers' initial plan was to make it transition into the old Universal logo, but apparently couldn't get that to work, so he used that for Van Helsing.
Van Helsing. Yeah,
Yeah.
Van Helsing. Yeah.
This is probably the first Steven Sommers film I saw. I saw Deep Rising afterwards.
Mm. I might have seen Deep Rising first on video or DVD,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
one of those formats. I
Now
might have
some of
seen
this
that
is
first.
CGI, but I think it holds up pretty well. Just to compare to some
Yeah,
other CGI shots in this film.
no, I agree with that. Oh,
Now,
thank you, Hopium. You got no super chat. That's
okay, cool.
thank you, Hopium.
Thank you, Hopium. Art of also more villain roles. It really made an impact to Imhotep. Yeah, well, he did other villain roles before this. Hard Target,
Mm-hmm.
Steel Dawn.
Yeah, Steel Dawn, Patrick Swayze, Hard Target, Van Damme.
This
So
actress
he
just
did play a villain a few
I
times.
know I forgot her name, but she's just absolutely just stunning in this movie. That's that.
Yeah,
This is the princess.
yeah. They're the titties.
Now, apparently, this voiceover, the initial plan by Stephen Sommers was for it to be Imhotep who's doing the voiceover. But then he thought that it wouldn't make a
Hmm.
lot of sense because he wouldn't know how to speak English. So he went with the Bay, what is it, Sadid or whatever, the Bay guy, the guy with the tattoos instead to do the narration.
Okay. Oh, Dead Fair.
Oded Fair, yes.
Yeah, yeah. It makes sense. Interesting. They put that logic into it, but that's a nice and refreshing.
So apparently, with this remake of the Mummy, because this is technically considered a remake or a reboot of an older property. It
Hmm.
was in development hell for a long time. There was other attempts that were made to try to do another version of the Mummy story from a multitude of different directors: Joe Dante, George A. Romero, Clive Barker, and they all had different takes on it. Um, Clive Barker's was a lot more violent, apparently, had to do something with some kind of mummy cult. George A. Romero's was more Night of Living Dead esque with like zombie uh, kind of mummies. I think both of those were intended to be R. Joe Dante had one that he was going to do too, but then the budget was too high. So thank you, Hopium. Do I know why Honorbosso despises JCVD for what happened to Hard Target? I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah, it would only be assumptions.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I understand Van Damme at that point was a bit too over the hill, egotistical, didn't know what the
Yes.
drug usage as well. So he even admits he had a big head. That's why years later he tried to have a $20 million paycheck, three picture deal
Yeah.
like Jim Carrey. And
What do you think about the
that's when
CGI
Universal.
with this thing? This like liquid spirit deal, Matt.
Uh, I think for what they had at the time, it's fine for what they had at the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what else they could have done with that
Yeah.
type of stuff.
I would say that kind of stuff is the CGI effects that I think hold up okay. The Mummy at times and be a bit off. I honestly would have preferred more of a practical effects focus on the Mummy. But
Yeah,
I
I
know
agree
what
with
they were
that.
trying to do. I understand they were trying to do similar stuff to what Hollow Man would do. what, a couple years later? Because didn't Hollow Man come out?
2000.
Yeah, a year
2000.
later or so. So
I mean, I would say those effects are a bit more successful in Halloween.
yes, yes. But this they were attempting like never before done CGI.
Yeah.
Now with this whole scene, apparently Artavasu was that look on his face is not acting. He was absolutely terrified during this scene.
Yeah, I don't blame him. It'd be pretty claustrophobic,
Yes, for sure.
all things considered.
Now, damn scarab
Very
beetles.
noticeable CG with the scarabs. Yeah, very
Yeah,
noticeable.
very noticeable, but at the same time, I don't know how you could really do that at that capacity with that many beetles well with
Hmm.
practical effects, unless they use real bugs. I guess you could do it that
Temple of
way,
Doom
like in
did.
Creepshow. Creepshow did it,
Like in
so
or even the Temple of Doom, the whole room
yeah,
where she had to put her arm in and we are going to die.
yeah.
That had all real bugs, and that was a whole room full. So maybe just throw like a bucket of it in. But
Get the titles. I like how they get blown away with the sand. I love this transition actually.
yeah.
This shot that shows the statue in its prime to where it is
Hmm.
now as like a ruin. Now we're gonna be introduced to Rick O'Connell soon, the character played by Brendan Fraser, and Brendan apparently wasn't the first choice. It was Stephen Summers' choice because apparently he really liked him in George of the Jungle and thought that he would make a good Rick O'Connell. But Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt, Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, Chris O'Donnell, Matthew McConaughey, and there's another rumor that Stallone was also offered the role at one point. What do you think about those other actors, Matt, potentially playing Rick O'Connell?
Chris O'Donnell, no. Matt Damon, nah. Ben Affleck, don't think would have worked the best. Uh, although I like Ben Affleck.
Mm-hmm.
Stallone, I think would have been a bit too old for
Yeah,
this kind of role. It seems for a younger guy. I think Brendan Fraser fit perfectly because
I
he had
love
the
Brendan in this.
humor. Yeah, he had the humor. He had the
This Benny,
charm.
that's such a coward.
But yeah, think of like what this movie is, if not imitating, but influenced by the kind of movie stars back in the day that had that kind of
Yes,
charm to
yeah,
them.
Errol
And
Flynn. Errol Flynn was what
yeah,
Stephen Summers was looking for, and I think Brendan Fraser really encapsulates that well. And Brendan is a prime example of like out of the box casting because prior to this, he never did anything on this level. You know, George of the
right.
Jungle, you know, Encino Man, like he wasn't the action hero, you know, but his charisma and his personality made up for whatever shortcomings people might have initially thought he had. And then he just
Yeah,
took that and ran with it and just created a very memorable performance, if you ask me. It's a similar casting choice as to Bruce Willis in Die Hard. You know, Bruce Willis is known as the moonlighting guy, you know,
yeah,
one of the co-stars in Blind Date. Like he was not an action hero, but his
right.
charisma and his personality made his performance as John McClane really stand out and really work. Thank you, Lucas. Issues with the curse. There's a risk it can make somebody basically a mortal superhuman. So it's just killed, but no movie. If we did that, I actually don't have a problem with the curse myself. You know, as a plot point.
I'm not sure what Lucas means.
Yeah,
What does he mean by
I don't know.
superhuman
Like the Imhotep
about the curse?
curse.
Like what does the curse do?
Yeah,
And
I don't
I'm
remember off
not
the
sure
top of
what
my
Lucas
head. I
is.
think it makes him immortal and he can't can't die unless you have that one. What is that pool or whatever. This is a
Well, yeah,
really
because she lives from the
exciting.
thing to make him
Yeah,
human.
yeah. This is a really exciting, fun opening action sequence for a PG-13.
Yeah, even the Indiana Jones. That's really what this is. Like,
Yeah.
if the mummy was an Indiana Jones adventure type, which I thought was a good idea.
Yes. Although I don't think that it's just an Indiana Jones clone. I think it's different enough
Right.
in its approach that it's not like, oh, it's just Indiana Jones again, but for the 90s with Brendan Fraser. This is a pretty creepy scene. Just the
Yeah,
audio.
it's one of the pretty decent practical effect coming up with the face in the sand,
Mhm.
the
Yeah.
indentation that,
Yeah.
or at least however they did it, it looked pretty neat.
I think that's CG,
That right there.
but it's really good
Well, and that's
CG from the time.
yeah,
Like,
that was a effective one. Yeah,
yes.
it was Oded Fair, who would later be in some
Yeah.
of the Resident Evil movies, two or three of them.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely entertaining. I don't know if I would call The Mummy underrated though, because it did really well and financially and
It's got a
critically.
franchise.
Yeah,
Yeah, it seems that a lot of people like and enjoy it. So yeah, I know I wouldn't call it underrated.
I would say the sequel's a little more underrated. I really like the sequel as well.
To you. I think it's just okay. Time
That's
waster.
fine.
I'm
That's
not big
okay.
on it. I
That's
have a
all
lot of
right.
issues.
Here we have the lovely Rachel Wise.
Hmm.
Definitely one of my favorite roles of hers. Honestly, I'd probably say it is my favorite performance from her is in The Mummy.
Yeah, she did a good job. A very, again, charming. She also did a good job in films like Constantine, among other
Yes.
movies. But yeah,
Now,
she's good here.
this whole sequence is very elaborate. It's involves this library and all these bookcases, and as you're going to see soon, things are going to go completely sideways. Now, this was a sequence that had to be done all in one take. Like all in
Of
one
course.
like and otherwise you would have to like do it all over again. And thankfully it was done all in one take. They didn't have to do that again. And it took them like a day, like almost a full day of shooting just to set it up. So can you imagine like how far behind you would be in terms of shooting if
Yeah.
if didn't get it right? I don't remember this actor's name, but he was also in Stargate.
Yep. He was in Stargate. Yeah. I forget that. Not good with names.
I love his reaction
He
to
did
the
get,
bookshelves getting
yeah.
knocked over.
He did get two other super chats.
Oh, thank you. Kind of hard to keep up. Here's
Well, you deserve
another
it.
one from Hopium. This is from Lucas. I mean, this is from Hopium about Lucas's point. Why would you put a curse on a mummy that you've just implemented the Humdai on? Why the Magi had this elaborate world-ending scheme when they ended him? Yeah, I guess, but it's a movie. They're just trying to establish, a reason for the plagues to occur and everything. Um, Another one from Togera. Uh, Thank you. Another generous one. Thank you so much. Hi guys, we're watching The Mummy. Matt, are you sure this movie's gonna play? We said yes. Matt, are you for the improve a certain this will not play? I'd like to watch RoboCop 2014. Uh no. I don't want to watch the RoboCop remake. Thank you for the super chat.
And then you deserve it, Mike.
Thanks.
Good guy.
A good movie.
But yeah, I mean, I'm of the opinion that I'm one of those people. I don't think this needed a franchise. I know you like
Okay.
the second one. I thought this was kind of a one and done deal, though, for the
Okay.
Mummy. I thought it ended, kind of dot the I's, cross the T's. They got the riches, they got
Yeah,
together. I just didn't feel there was any more story to tell. And I just don't think the sequels were ever as good,
that's
especially
understandable.
the third one.
That's fair. Well, I agree on the third one. I think the third one sucks.
And then John Hannah as the
Yes, he's
brother
great in
character,
this.
Rachel Weisz.
He's like a good example of
Seemed
like
good.
a lovable troll type of character. Like he trolls people. He's kind of a dick, but
Yes, a good comedic relief that's not
yes,
too annoying or is irritating.
yeah, he's not too obnoxious with it. Which is
Right.
kind of a hard thing to pull. I think there's a lot of great comic relief characters in this. Him, Benny, who the actor who played him, he was also in another Stephen Sommers film. He was in Deep Rising. That was
Kevin J. O'Connor.
yeah, Kevin J. O'Connor.
Yep, he was in Deep Rising, Lord of Illusions. He had a big role, I think, in G.I. Joe. That was as
Yeah,
well as Van Helsing. He was
GI
the
Joe.
and Van Helsing. He was the Igor to
Yes,
Dracula.
this is a really cool looking prop. Honestly, I want to give a huge shout out to the art. The art direction, the prop guys, the costume designers, like for this movie, like they really did a phenomenal job. Really adds to the
Mhm.
whole mood and atmosphere of the film.
Well, I mean, 1999 was a hell of a year when you think about it. I mean, to speak for you personally, this film, Matrix, Fight Club, Blair Witch
Yes.
Project,
Yes.
there's a lot of big movies
Mhm.
come out that year.
The fact that this one was one of the bigger ones of that year was a bit of a surprise, if you think about it, compared to some of the other competitors in 1999. I mean, other big films, I mean, like
Yeah.
Phantom Menace and so on and so forth.
Yeah, you had Deep Blue Sea, you had The General's Daughter, you had quite a few.
I would honestly say this and the sequel are like my favorite Mummy movies because, like, I don't really like the original Mummy is okay. I'm not super big on it though. Same thing goes for the Hammer Mummy films.
Mhm.
What's your favorite Mummy movie, Matt?
I would say this one.
Yeah.
Most definitely this one.
Mhm.
Like I said, I like the adventure quality of it. I
Yeah.
think has a lot of the right elements, has a good
Yes.
comedic charm, has a solid cast, great story by Jerry Goldsmith.
Yes. Such a
A lot of good elements put together.
just a master of his craft, Jerry Goldsmith.
Hmm. And while I didn't see the film, it is nice that, at least for a bit, Brendan had a bit of a comeback.
Yes.
If not a full comeback, at least one last good run, winning the Oscar and stuff.
Yeah, the whale. Yeah, he's great in it.
Yeah,
It's a really depressing film though. Like that's a film you gotta be in a right mindset for that one.
right. Yeah, that was one of my favorite lines. Do you swear every damn day? No, I
Yeah.
deleted it. It's a good line.
You and me both, Matt. When you work in retail, like man, that it's hard not to.
I mean, to be
There you go.
fair,
Happy
I
damn
mean,
day.
there hasn't been a whole lot of I mean, if you're not count Tom Cruise's The Mummy,
Oh, the
there
Cummy?
like the
Yeah.
past. I just mean like the past 20 years,
No.
there really hasn't been a whole lot of mummy movies. If you think about it, I mean, there's the Jason Scott Lee one we mentioned before,
Mm-hmm.
equals to this, the
What, you
one
don't
with
like
Tom
the
Cruise.
fallen ones with Casper Van Dien with the giant mummy? It's all CGI.
I don't even haven't
It's
heard of
just,
those ones.
yeah, that one's it was awful. It's absolutely terrible. What are those Sci-Fi Channel original movies? That's what that one is.
Mm. I think maybe just the mummy just hasn't really gotten that. It's
Mm-hmm.
not like vampires and werewolves where it says you could put them in any situation, of course, in any
Yeah.
environment. I think
Now
because
you
it's so
have
specific, usually to
so coming up
Egypt,
here
and then it
is
maybe
the
it's too expensive.
yeah is the hanging scene, and this scene is rather infamous because of the fact that like it they didn't do the best job in terms of making it safe. So what you see here is Brendan Fraser actually being hanged.
Hmm.
And Brendan even explained that the direction by Steven Summers was just like, don't be scared, just do it, action. Don't die. But I I don't know if he passed out or not during the shoot, or if that was because I know there was
Hmm.
also an issue with the hanging scene in Back to the Future Part 3 with Michael J. Fox. So it's a similar sort of
Hmm.
thing. Apparently, they just didn't figure out how to do hanging safely. But thankfully, Brendan Fraser is okay.
Decent effect shot to show the time period that they're in.
Yes, definitely. She's like, "Oh, you clean up nice."
I'd probably say sadly with Brendan though is that he didn't really capture the success he maybe deserved after this film. I mean, I know
No.
Returns made some money,
Hmm.
but then you had films like Bedazzled, Furry Vengeance.
I like
Uh,
Bedazzled, but yeah, I can
it didn't do
see
well.
it didn't do that well.
What was the one with
Inkheart,
the
Monkey
what was
Bone.
it? Yeah, Monkey Bone was one. The Deli Do Right.
Yeah, I grew up watching that movie along with this film as a kid. This has held up well. Dudley Do Right is not. I don't know why I liked that so much as a kid. That film is terrible. It's really bad. I mean, but then again, as a
But yeah,
kid, I was like watching Superman 4 and Batman and Robin the most out of all those franchises. So I didn't know any better. Gamble with my life, never my money.
but yeah, just those series of films didn't really help his box
No.
office of anything. Films like Extraordinary Measures with him and Harrison Ford.
Yeah, no.
So finally kind of dissipate from the
I think
mainstream, did some direct-to-video films, and
he should have fired his agent at some point. That's what it seems like.
yeah,
Because he
pretty
broke out
much.
of typecasting with this. So it wasn't like he was typecast in a specific role anymore. So it's just it is kind of surprising that it didn't like lead to more.
It led to more, just a lot of them were not either good movies or just
Yeah.
were flops.
Yeah, I meant to, like, more success is probably what I
Right.
meant. Look at all that ammo.
You can't have too many. All you have is too little.
Yeah. You know, there was an animated series based on The Mummy?
I vaguely remember that. I never saw it, but I vaguely remember there being one.
I think I saw it, like, a few episodes of it. I remember not being super big on it, even when I was a
Mm.
kid. The two of them just have excellent chemistry in this film.
But definitely, that's another reason why the movie works. They work very well together.
It's like, "What?" Oh. Benny.
Yep, there's Kevin J. O'Connor.
They will kill you. Children?
You don't have any children.
I know.
Maybe I will. Obviously, this is another coming up. Another one of my favorite parts, character
Yeah.
wise, is the
Uh-huh.
laugh. The laugh coming up where they both share it, especially Brendan's.
Yeah. Yeah.
Goodbye, Brendan.
Yeah, bye, Benny. Yeah.
Which is a nice recurring theme, even to the end.
Yeah.
Goodbye, Benny.
Uh-huh.
When he meets his ultimate fate.
Yep.
People in the chat, I know people like asking all these random questions. We're kind of focusing on this because this was a paid request for Lucas. So we're kind of focusing on the mummy, folks. Sorry.
That's cool.
Like we're
Jordan David Coop came back to write the script for The Mummy. Said he saw The Mummy Returns first. Thank you, Togera, for the super chat. I was asking you, Matt, if you saw an episode of the 2012 Ninja Turtles where they meet the 87 Turtles.
Nope.
All
Didn't
right.
see it. Didn't care. Didn't care to see it.
I always love the two gun action sequence. It's really hard to mess that up. Right?
Yeah. Ever since, the days from John Woo to various other people using a
Yeah.
variety of action movies, it's always fun to see that. Bruce Willis, The Last Man Standing.
Yes.
Of Granted, yes, you don't have less accuracy in aiming with that, but
Yeah.
it's more fun.
Yeah, it's more of a cinematic thing. Just
Yeah,
looks cool.
it works for it works on film.
Give some huge credit to that stuntman there for that full body burn. It's kind of risk taking you don't necessarily see as much of nowadays, but it adds to the authenticity, adds to the immersion
Yeah,
factor of the film. Like
and
even
granted, I
something
mean,
as simple as that, like the gun blasting like right near his head.
yeah, I mean, granted, maybe more safer, sure, but at the
Yes.
same time, uh, if you do your job right and well, yes, nothing can be 100% perfection, but
Yeah.
for the usually you'd be safe enough to accomplish the task and get the.
Good fight choreography here for Brendan.
Mhm. You wait here.
And of course, Jerry Goldsmith's just unbelievable talent really makes this even better too. Just adds an
Absolutely.
extra level to the action scene. Just makes it all the more thrilling. Americans.
Not JPEG. I don't think someone like John Carpenter. I don't think this would have been his type of film to make. I don't think it would be
No,
his wheelhouse.
no.
And John Carpenter's my favorite director, but it's like his is more either smaller, intimate, like a song on Breeze 13 or The Thing, where it's
Hmm.
isolated.
Yeah,
It was a bit bigger than. It seems like he works better on a low budget. They Live, Escape from New York.
yeah.
Wait,
I'm.
it's a bigger budget. I know you like Memoirs of Invisible Man. I could not get into it.
I don't love
Escape
the
from LA
movie,
definitely has
but
its flaws.
it's. Oh, this scene is a classic. Hey, Benny, it's
Yeah.
me. Like you're on the wrong side of the river. uh, I remember that getting like a huge laugh in the theater.
Ah, that's nice.
Just pay the man.
But while there is, a decent amount of CG here, it still feels a bit more controlled than I think what Steven
Yes,
Summers would do later with
absolutely.
other films.
Yes, 100%. A good chunk of it is just shot on location, shot on a set, dealing with real props, stuff like that. Not a ton of green screen. So speaking of camels, in a later scene with Benny and a camel, Benny
Mhm.
is on the camel and is trying to get it to go and it's not doing anything. It's because the camel like legitimately hated the actor. The camel didn't like him at all. So they did shoot a lot in the actual desert, and because of that, the crew they created a drink for the cast to take, which was like probably some sort of electrolyte mix or something that they would drink every 2 hours so that they wouldn't like
Hmm.
completely dehydrate.
That's good, and it works well because nowadays it'd be all green screen.
Yep. Like you compare this to the other Mummy movie, the Tom Cruise Mummy movie, like it's night and day. As we're talking about a scene, as we're watching a scene that takes place at night. It literally is night and day between those two. Of course, there were other Mummy movies in the past, like The Awakening, Charlton Heston, but
Oh yeah, yeah. Pretty much the Omen, but Egypt.
yes.
That was a pretty
It
boring
was it
movie.
was the first film that was shot in I guess the first American production. It was shot in Egypt at the actual, Egyptian landmarks and the ruins and the digs, but that only goes so far because the rest of the plot and the rest of the movie is really dull.
Yeah, I was gonna say too bad it's for a shitty movie,
Yeah.
not for a good movie.
No. Here's a bit of green screen or blue screen stuff with the sky in the background. You can kind of tell that that's something they kind of added in post, but it's not too bad
Yeah.
looking.
Yeah, of course, the reason being is because they have to have it be this certain time of day for this city to occur,
Mhm.
script wise.
Yeah. This is a cool idea though in terms of to show where the city is located. Kind of similar to well, I mean, not necessarily exactly the same as something like an Indiana Jones, but it's like similar in vein. Using the sun to show the way.
Oh yeah, and the Raise a Lost Ark, yeah.
Yeah, with the
The model of the city,
yeah,
yeah.
with the model of the city and the medallion. So long, Betty. Benny's like a good example of a bad guy. Like, he's not intimidating, but he's entertaining enough, and he's enough of a thorn in Rick's side that he doesn't feel like he's just completely pointless. You could just tell that this cast had fun doing the film too. Like some of that, I don't even think is
Yeah,
just acting;
definitely.
they're just having fun. And that carries over on screen.
Well, yeah, it's probably one of the reasons why they decided they came back for the sequel as well. He did get a super chat.
Oh, thank you, Togera.
I don't know what it means
What
because I
Matt
read
says,
it.
Mike and Fabio to hold the tent down, now watch. Matt said, I go inside and take a nap. I'm holding the tent. All right.
Uh,
We're trying
I
to
don't know how
force
to
you to.
decipher
Are
that.
we trying to force you to watch the RoboCop remake? Or are we trying to force you to watch the Mummy?
I don't know. Trying to force me something. I
We
might be
talked
complete.
about Dudley Do Right. It's a film I grew up with as a kid. I used to watch it on VHS a lot. It has not held up over the years. It's bad, really bad movie. Lots of painfully unfunny slapstick. And Jordan the Jungle, I don't mind for what it is. I can have some fun with it. Just that exchange is pretty funny too. Between the two. I thought you might like it when you're down there. I like the little transitions too, where they have these little like slide wipes. Kind of
Hmm.
adds a little extra
Uh,
touch to the film when it transitions from one scene to the next. As to
yeah.
that comic book style, which is something that Rachel Wise pointed out. She wasn't really super big on doing a horror film, uh, but she liked the idea of this more comic book style adventure movie.
Hmm.
You could argue that, I mean, there were other horror films that kind of had this blockbuster feel, but not to the same extent. So you could argue that maybe this version of the Mummy was like the first like major horror, you know, or semi horror blockbuster, kind of film.
When you say blockbuster, you mean like the amount of money it made, or like
Well, yeah, and
what?
also just kind of the approach, with the crowd pleasing aspect. It's not trying to, the dire. It's got a wider appeal, that kind of thing.
Hmm.
When you have Jaws, it's like the first ever, like the summer blockbuster. But
Well, I mean, like you said, it depends how you look at. Like, there's horror action movies like Aliens
yeah,
and Predator. There's
yes,
more kid-friendly ones like the Monster Squad, among
yeah,
other stuff
yeah,
that tried to be a blockbuster. Sadly, it flopped.
yeah.
Uh, but they had tried to have that element, and it
Hmm.
worked well in
It
the
did
Monster Squad.
absolutely. I love that
So,
movie. But maybe I think it probably sort of purely like blockbuster in terms of like the box office, probably huge
mm,
hit. I was only mentioning that because there was an article that I read earlier today that was kind of was talking about that. I've had worse.
okay.
Me too. I love that. Love that look that Brendan gives him. It's like, yeah, me too. It's like, what the fuck? Just keep insulting the Americans with them right there. Mm. Oh, here comes the scarab scene. I remember this used to freak me out as a kid, actually, to be honest. It is still kind of
Oh,
freaky, like
okay.
even though like it's not. I mean, it's CGI, but just the idea of it, they look like just little gems or whatever, something on a wall, but there's something alive inside.
Yeah. Yep.
It's,
Don't heed the warning. So it
of course not.
happens a lot in horror movies.
Definitely. Yeah. You have to have a reason for, the Imhotep, the mummy to, be resurrected, So
No, of
what
course.
what other reason would make sense? Ooh. Even for PG-13, that's pretty grisly. The shot of them
Yeah.
all their faces all messed up due to the like acid or something.
You did get another super chat.
Thank you. I love I love this scene too, where she's explaining. She's just lovingly explaining how they create a mummy. To Garo again, you forgot to bring the tools to keep the tent from flying away, so Mike and Fabio hold the tent down, and Matt goes in and takes his nap. Appreciate it, thank you.
Thank you for your kindness and support, Mike. Guy deserves it.
Yeah, thank you. This is kind of a good example of like a film where you look at the runtime, it's like 46 minutes. And the mummy hasn't technically shown up yet. I mean, you had a little bit in the beginning, but that's like a prologue. But they did
Right.
a good job in terms of doing some character moments early on and then having some action sequences to make it still something you can handle and deal with compared
Yeah.
to other movies where like where the hell is the mummy, where the hell is this, titular monster or killer, and it takes forever.
Yeah, because you're so bored with the stuff going on screen,
Yeah,
and because the stuff on screen's not enticing
yeah, this
or
bit used
interesting enough, so
it
then
used to freak me out. Well, I mean, if you think of it, it is, it's freaky. Like, is there a bug inside of you, like crawling around like under your skin? Is it the best effect nowadays? No. But it's still
right.
the idea of it is still pretty freaky.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Henderson's actor, yeah, he also auditioned for Rick O'Connell. Apparently, Stephen Summers thought he did a good job, but he felt that Brendan had a certain quality to him that the Henderson actor didn't have.
Plus, it helps he was a bit more of a name.
Yes.
Like, you don't know who Henderson is, but
Hmm.
at least for Brendan, there's some kind of, whether people saw Encino Man,
Yeah.
Airheads, what was the other movie?
School ties.
Yeah, Georgia the Jungle.
Hmm.
At least there's some recognizability because of that.
They didn't even know that he had a bug inside him. They just saw this guy just run right into a wall. I love that. Just the timing of that was great. The source is cursed, and then some wind blows by.
Did you say you had some questions, or is that
Oh
for
yeah,
later?
like it was mainly about we kind of briefly talked about it earlier. It was mainly about
No.
like the mummy, the mummy effect itself and kind of what you thought about it. So just kind of waiting
Oh,
until that
okay.
scene.
Gotcha.
Another good example of a film where you have a female co-star, and still likable. They don't try to do extra stuff with the script to try to make her better than everybody else. None like what they tend to do a lot nowadays, which I really appreciate. I'm so tired of that trend.
Yeah, that happens way too much nowadays.
Like it's not equality, it's inequality.
And you got another super chat from Lucas.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, exactly, Lucas. Yeah, even before the mummy shows up, you're not bored. That's a sign of a really good adventure movie, or just a good film. Thank you for the super chat, by the way. I have that one American, like he didn't even finish shaving. Like I woke up like, or he had to go out there, and guns drawn before he even finished shaving. It's a fun bonding moment between the two of them.
Nope, Jordan never went on the Mummy ride in
I
Florida.
did. There's a ride in California as well, Universal Studios Hollywood. Um,
Hmm.
I yeah, I went on the maybe it wasn't the ride over there. It was the tram tour. That's what it was, and there was a mummy portion of it where
Hmm.
the walls would spin. There'd be scarabs, stuff like that.
Okay.
I'd love to go to Universal Studios Florida and Disney World, but like expensive. It's all the way over in Florida,
Hmm.
you know.
Exactly. But yeah, Lucas, that's my favorite scene. I don't know if it's bites, but it's my favorite scene. The sword fight at the end.
Oh, that's definitely one of my favorite scenes in the film. That's a great scene. It's just yeah, no more filter anymore. It's just so drunk.
And sorry, folks, I'm not saying a whole lot. The movie, a lot of times, speaks for itself.
It
To be
does.
perfectly honest.
Yeah.
But that's the tough thing about commentaries. You just run out of things to say pretty quickly.
Yeah.
That's why reviews are like maybe 15, 20 minutes because
Yeah.
you have everything to save in that time.
Uh-huh.
And we like the film, so we're not going to riff on it.
No.
Not these assholes like the movie's good. It's so
Yeah.
cheesy.
Uh-huh.
It's so cheesy.
Oh, I could totally see some people saying that about this movie, but it's a part of the charm though for me.
Yeah. But thank you, Lucas.
Yeah, I like the camp factor. Like if you took it too seriously, I don't think that would really I don't think that would work, right?
Well, I mean, yeah, that's true. I mean, it'd have to be in a very talented hands to do
Yes.
that. Not the Tom Cruise mummy.
No.
Which I guess I didn't really try to take itself tremendously serious, but at the
No.
same time,
It was
probably
just
more serious than this.
yeah, it was just bad. And I like Tom
Well,
Cruise and he had a really good track record up until that film. So
so let me ask you, what's bad about that movie compared to this? I know you did a review of it.
it's
I
boring.
think my review might be up, but yeah.
That's one major thing. It it definitely has too much of it trying to establish this dark universe that because it never happened really makes its attempts to try to, be the start of this new universe really painful.
and
And those
pointless.
scenes and pointless. And those scenes seemed out of place anyway. That's a good practical effect there. The Imhotep right there. So juicy. I'm glad that he didn't do something like, the mommy winks, or some some now that would be cheesy. Like
All
you're
right.
still alive, and then wink. Also,
Now,
I think that
weren't they bandaged up? So how would he be able to claw the insides of the coffin if he was all bandaged up?
yeah, yeah, yeah. See what you mean there.
I'm guessing that's why one of the reasons they bandaged him up in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of just like knocking him out and then put him in there.
No,
So how did they get out of it and claw all the insides?
don't really know for sure on that one. Typical Americans all being greedy.
Now, of course, that guy there with the book is Jonathan
Yeah,
Hyde. He
yeah, Jonathan
was
Hyde.
the dad as well as the villain in Jumanji. He
Yes,
was the dad
he was
as
also
well as the hunter.
wasn't he the butler in Richie Rich as well?
Richie Rich. Yep.
Yeah,
Richie Rich. He was Richie's butler
it was a lot of fun
and
in
Richie
that.
Rich.
That's Richie Rich's
Yeah.
butler.
Yeah, he did a good job in that. I think he was also in Anaconda.
Yeah, Anaconda.
Yeah.
John Voight and his overacting of whatever accent he was trying to pull off in that movie.
But I enjoy it. I think it's fun for
It's a fun creature feature. It's definitely a lot better than King Cobra. Pat Morita. You remember that one? King Cobra.
Jordan. I don't give a flying fuck about any more Jurassic Park films. Okay, you have to answer. I don't give a flying fuck about any Jurassic Park films. They should never make any again.
Yeah, I don't care
Do
if
a
they're
Dino Crisis R-rated movie.
yes, I don't care if they're ignoring Dominion and Fallen King. I don't care if they're ignoring it. It doesn't matter. We don't need another one.
Don't need it. Fuck it. Too many. I don't mind Fallen Kingdom. I thought Dominion. I know you like
Yeah.
Dominion. I thought I did not
No,
like
I
it at
didn't.
all.
I didn't like Dominion.
So I remember I thought on your Facebook you thought it wasn't that bad. Maybe I read it wrong.
Definitely don't feel that way. Maybe after
Right.
another watch of that movie. So like it's below average. Very below average. Like 2 stars.
Yeah.
This script does a
But I
good
didn't
job with
mind Fallen Kingdom.
exposition as well. Like it's not just
Yeah.
it doesn't feel like it's just having one long scene of exposition dump. Like it actually feels like it's well balanced in that regard. And honestly, what she does here, yeah, it's dumb, but like you can kind of get it. She's curious.
Yeah.
It's similar to
Never.
Evil Dead
Yeah.
in that regard, right? Just I'll just read the book of the dead.
Yeah. Well, at least this doesn't have barbed wire on it. Like,
Yes, in a trash bag, right? And then all these notes in the
yeah,
book that say, "Don't read this."
uh, hippie Jesus reads it.
Yeah, or you
No,
play it
not
on a
J.
or a record.
Oh yeah, like Evil Dead Rise. Yeah, yeah, not JP. I never played the Mummy video games. I probably have them on that system, but I've never played them.
I've never played them either.
Maybe they're fun. I mean, thanks to Mike, I played a bit of the Indiana Jones game. That's been fun so far. So
That's that's way too many locusts.
yeah.
What have we done? Yeah, it's a great shot.
So were those locusts meant to kill those people? Because it didn't kill Jonathan Hyde.
Yeah, I don't know. You know how some of these movies are. They're selective in terms of who dies and who doesn't.
That's what.
you know?
Yeah, it's like, well, how come they killed those people, but then they just hop on, park on Jonathan Hyde's face, and that he appears later on.
Yeah.
I believe he does. Yeah. So.
If I remember correctly, this guy gets like one of the worst deaths.
Oh yeah, he gets his eyes taken out and his
Yeah.
tongue.
As somebody without glasses, like this is scary to me. like I literally would not be able to see. You know, I can't see.
Right.
That would be it. Like I can't see anything. And then there's like some mummy walking around too. I don't know where it is. They did a great job with the blurring the camera too. I like the editing in this scene too. Then he turns it slowly around. Here's those damn scarabs again.
Yeah.
At least the entire scene doesn't look like a video game, just the scarabs, right?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's even this is being used as a tool, not
hmm
the whole
Because I mean, you have that
sequence. Even
moment there with the door, the secret door that opens up. That was all done practically.
yeah, and the bat drop and the
hmm
platforms they're standing on, etc.
I like the lighting shift here in terms of the way that this scene is lit versus the way that the other scenes were lit with the torchlight.
Yeah.
I don't know why the eyes are CG though. Like his eyes being missing. Like you could have just done that with
Yeah,
practical, right? So
could
here's the
have.
mummy. What do you think about the CGI of the mummy? What are your thoughts on this?
I mean, I've seen much worse,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I mean, I would like to have seen more practical. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, though, it's not the worst that I've seen, but is it noticeable? Of course.
Yes, but it's also due to the limitations of CGI at
Yeah,
the time. Like
yeah.
I can kind of
For
forgive it more
1999,
than I
yeah,
can something like the effects in RIPD. Like
yeah, exactly. That's why I'm not too harsh on it.
also just like I legitimately like the design and look of it. Like you don't normally see mummies that look like that desiccated and falling apart and you know
Yeah,
And it was a good idea not to have the bandages and everything. Like, there's a few bandages, but like, I love that bit. That's one of my favorite scenes. Just roars at him, and he's like, "Ah!" Then shoots him with a fucking shotgun. It's like, his confidence is great. See, they did practical for his eyes there, so I don't know why they didn't do it for that shot.
I guess they thought that they were trying to make us see deep inside his head, I guess, but it
Mm-hmm.
didn't really work that way.
You could
But they
do that
wanted
with
to.
you could do that with a mask, right? Couldn't you?
No, I mean like inside to see the
Oh,
hollow inside of the
okay.
head,
Yeah.
but it didn't really work
No,
well when they tried to do it.
Benny. I love how immediately he doesn't like. Yeah, I'm gonna kill him. He's just like, let's make him a servant. He seems sniveling enough, you know.
And because he can speak the language, as we find out.
Yes, exactly. This is a fun idea though, with him trying all these different, all these different like amulets and charms. Yeah, the slave language. Yeah, I may have used for you. I mean, for 1999, that was probably like an incredible like feat of CGI. You know, to have
Definitely.
that full body uh creature.
No, most definitely.
You have what is the Sandstorm coming up? I think probably pretty soon.
Yeah, it's him coming up. He gets. I think he gets the guys with no eyes.
Yeah, I
Then
love
when
the
he
whole.
comes in, the
Yeah,
cat stares on him.
yeah. Speaking of the cat, like in that scene earlier, she makes sure to like grab the cat, hold it real quick, and then sets it down, and the cat still jumps off. That's cats for you.
Well, also, I mean, they did that to tell the audience that there is a cat in the room. So
Oh,
later on,
that
you're
makes
not
sense.
wondering why, where did the cat come from?
Yeah,
No, they
that's a
show
good
that there's
point.
a cat in the room.
That's a good point.
I don't know whose cat that is in this random hotel room because none of these characters brought a cat with them.
Yeah. No,
Whose cat is
it's,
that?
it's not like Evie has like just brought a cat in her suitcase, right?
Yeah. So yeah, whose cat is that? This it's the hotel's cat, I guess.
One of the characters pulled it out of their butts like Indy does in the Indiana Jones game with his hat.
Hotel California. And of course, this character we'll see later on
Yes, we
flying the
will.
plane. So,
This character is a good example of like introducing somebody and then actually using them. You know, because I've seen other films where they introduce some random guy, and then it seems like there's potential for that character to be utilized in some capacity, and then like that's it. They're never seen or heard from again.
oh, you mean like Antonio Banderas and Indiana Jones and the
Yeah,
Dial of Destiny?
the Dial of Destiny. You know when he gets killed.
Yeah, after being in for 5 minutes, I think he meant to say CG.
Well, I have a
Yeah,
cat
yeah,
too.
playing with that. Yeah.
We're both safe. I like this design for the mask and everything he's wearing.
hmm I mean, yeah, Benny's doing it out of fear. Rich's one makes sense because if the world's taking over, what are you going to spend that money on? It's like with a lot of movies. I'm going to get some money, so I'm going to make a nuclear war.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you don't spend the money on after a nuclear war. Or what are you going to go to buy
Like, why would you even
dead
need
bodies?
money at that point, right?
Yeah,
Like, if there's still stuff
yeah,
that's around after the nuclear war, then it would just be yours for free, right?
yeah. Or there'd be nothing left.
Yes, Dark Cloud. That film is excellent. Dark Cold in July, like great movie.
Yep.
Yeah, Dial of Destiny with uh, Banderas' character. This is a
Yeah.
cool scene.
Yeah, real
Rain,
fire.
fire. Yeah. Even the CGI in this sequence, showing the wider scope of it, is still holds up really well.
Yeah, that shot made sense, but then incorporate like they did real fire and these
Mm-hmm.
close-up shots. I don't know why in like Van Helsing he just didn't do that.
Yeah.
Just went overboard. That happens a lot though. When people get more money, they just go
Apparently,
overboard on
that's
that.
the
I don't know
same
why.
prop from Life Force. The guy who's all his life has been sucked out of him.
Yeah.
One of the props from Life Force, the Toby Hooper film.
Wonder how they got the.
They did just borrowed the prop, I guess,
Hmm.
which has happened, fair amount of times in other films, like reusing props.
Yeah. I just been like doing the effects guys work on it. They had the prop, or just
I don't
in
know for sure.
a studio somewhere.
It just said that they had it. There's a cat.
hmm
He's afraid of pussy. I can't handle a pussy.
He is a pussy.
In very serious trouble. I also like the
He's a
idea
Dylan
of
pussy.
the mummy like regenerating piece by piece. That's a cool idea.
Right. Yeah.
Yes. The cats. Is Anuk Simone supposed to be that other girl in the beginning, or is that a different girl?
No, the girl at the beginning,
Oh, okay.
and
Because
yeah,
she doesn't look like
it's the
her at
girl at
all.
the beginning,
Yeah, yeah. I'm just,
right?
I'm just saying. And what's F's like? Oh, it's a pretty girl. It's a pretty woman. Like that's a Nuxamon. You got the eclipse. This is like a much better film dealing with all the plagues than the Ten Commandments, if you ask me. I'm sorry. Thank you, Lucas. Even though the Americans die, each one of them has a quirk to make them stand out. Henderson is flashy with his guns. Burns has an eye problem. Daniels can't keep his jacket on, and Jonathan needs no quirk. Yeah, yeah, I agree with that.
Well, I mean, to be honest, I didn't give a shit about the Americans. They're fine, but they're just cannon fodder, which
Yeah,
is
but
fine.
yeah,
But it's not like I'm like, oh wow, those were so great characters.
no, no, but I think he
They're
just mentions.
serviceable.
I think he just mentions they all have a quirk,
No, I know.
so they're not just like there's nothing.
Yeah, I
They
know.
all like blend together into like one homogenous character,
Right,
which that is a nice little touch by the writers to
right,
do that. I like a lot of these up close shots of like people's faces and the reactions and their really makes certain scenes have more tension.
right.
Spring cleaning. You fell down. Let me help you. You aren't immune. Dang, that's really close to that fan. Yeah, they probably have like rubber. The fan blades are made out of rubber or something. Probably
Unless it was CG
could
ceiling
be.
fan.
Could be. He's got some more pieces. There's the flies. Hey, flies. Although I like the fly movies, but I don't like flies in general. That guy's giving me Wyatt Russell vibes, right? This guy right here,
A
Kurt
little
Russell's
bit, yeah.
son.
I see that a little bit, yeah.
Another really solid aspect of the film is the sound design, sound editing. we go.
And the rest is his all done in silhouette
Yes,
work.
just showing him get his skin and his soul sucked away like in the shadows. Good way to get around
Yeah.
the sensors.
Hmm.
It's a nice little touch there with the scarab just crawling into his face, into his cheek, and he just eats it as a little snack. Thank you, Tugera. Another super chat. What your cat starts singing the meow song from Meow Mix commercials, and out of the blue, nowhere, you guys start singing the meow songs. Um, I don't know if that. I don't know. I don't think that would happen. We'd have to be really baked or something for the or like an acid trip or something. I don't know what to say about that.
Yeah. I'm not that kind of guy.
Get your ugly face off her. I love that. Look what I got. just the, just the looks that he gives him are just so funny. So it's just Brendan Fraser's underrated, comic timing right there. Then you have the cult. Everyone's all possessed by Motep. It's not enough that they become slaves in Motep. They also have to have boils and sores everywhere.
Yeah, it just ain't a good day to be a slave. I'm on
No,
top.
never a good day to be a slave. When did Tomb Raider come out? The game.
The game, I think, bef-
Before?
it's the 90s. I think it was before this.
Okay. Because there's some Laura Croft elements here with Evie.
Because the movie came out 2001, and there were a
Yeah,
couple of games by then.
yeah.
So I would say at least early mid 90s.
This whole bit.
Probably,
Was it animal dog? And then he just slowly walks backwards. I'm not kidding about that guy being half his. He's always running around with half his jacket on. They're gonna get yours. Oh, you'll get it. You'll definitely get yours, Benny.
definitely will, yeah.
A good rollicking score here by Jerry Goldsmith, who also did a great job with the score for another Indiana Jones kind of inspired film, King Solomon's Mines.
Yep. Yeah, most definitely worked well on that front.
This is kind of messed up if you think about it. Just run them all over. Just run all these people over.
Yeah,
It's
if it
like they're
works, it works.
it works, yeah. And what else are you gonna do? They're
Exactly.
slaves of Imhotep. Like pokes the guy in the eye. Slapstick routine. Three Stooges versus Imhotep. Maybe if you like, he's still got half his jacket on.
Yeah.
Oh no, you're out of bullets.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna get some water,
Okay,
and looks like you got another super chat.
thank you.
So, be right back.
You Togera. Jogging. What if I was jogging on the treadmill and I got teleported somewhere else, and I go where you are, and I get teleported back on the treadmill, get sent to the wall of the floor? I I I don't quite. I don't know. That would suck. That wouldn't be fun. Probably wouldn't happen though, because I don't really do treadmills. This is like a way to do like the zombie kind of idea that maybe Romero was considering without it like just being outright just mummy zombies. I like that. There you go. Fully regenerated Vasalu. Definitely words to live by. Live today, fight tomorrow. Just love the cocky smirk that Vasu gave there. Yeah, yeah, that really is a big reason why the role works as well as it does for Vosselu is because he doesn't he has some fun with it at times, but he doesn't like overdo it. There's a little bit of that in the second film, I have to be honest. A little hamming it up in that one. I still like it though. Got some great action scenes in it. Oh no, the guy from Stargate just got killed.
Yep.
Yeah, I knew that Romero almost did a mummy film. His was going to be in a more zombie kind of esque. They kind of were able to do that with the Slaves of Imhotep without it being zombies. So that's an interesting question, Lucas. The least favorite part of the Mummy.
Some of the dated CGI for me. I mean, I'm more leaned on it because 1999, but some of the more noticeable, like the scarabs and other stuff.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, like for a lot of the location shoots they have and the desert sequences, some of the like the car chase and even bits of this plane action sequence.
Uh-huh.
Again, more leaned on it compared to if
I
this
love
movie
how
was
Dead
released
Fair.
today. But
God, I love how Dead
yeah,
Fair's acting in that scene. He's not even saying a word. He's just like delighted and he's on the side of a plane. Like a little kid.
but that would be mine.
Least favorite scene. I don't know. Like there's not really a lot of stuff that I don't like about this movie. Maybe there's like some of the some of the CGI and be a bit dated points, but I could still kind of deal with that because it's a product of its time.
Hmm. If I
This
have to
thing,
choose one, hmm,
that's such a cool entrance. That's so badass.
maybe the time between when they arrive at the temple and when the locusts are unleashed. Maybe if that was a little bit tighter paced.
Okay, yeah. Now that you bring that up a little bit,
Maybe.
yeah, I can see that. There's a lot of exposition in that scene. There's a lot of stuff going on in that.
Hmm.
And then you got this, which this was like the sound, this whole sequence in the theater was just nuts.
In a bit, yeah. Hi to all in the chat. Hi there, Freddy Lit. Hello, everyone.
It's such a cool idea too, just to make the sandstorm itself an extension of the mummy.
Hmm. Well, it's definitely the big trailer moment.
Oh yeah, definitely.
There's all the marketing.
Yep. It was a great way to sell it. Yeah, as like a theatrical, like big event movie. To see that on the big screen. And I think that CGI, I still holds up pretty decently.
And it's also one of the reasons why they made it more of this adventure because it'd be hard to put that into a horror setting if it was just a horror film. And it probably would not have had the budget to accomplish that anyway. So,
Exactly.
main thing why they made it more adventure style.
Yeah, Fear Road has a good sandstorm scene as well. And yeah, definitely the audio. I mean, the building up for the climax is great in this movie. That could have been interesting. An Uncharted film done in this style probably would have been a lot better than whatever movie we did get, which apparently is getting a sequel. This did well enough
Mhm.
overseas.
Yep. Yeah, the Uncharted games are great. The movie sucked.
Yeah, Rick O'Connell's closer to what Nathan Drake is in the games, and then Nathan
Yeah,
Drake in the Uncharted movie.
yeah, even dresses like him.
I wouldn't be surprised if that was an inspiration.
If Uncharted was inspired by
Yeah,
this,
yeah. If Uncharted was inspired by the Mummy.
could be. Lucas says it was.
Cool.
Because yeah, look at Brendan Fraser's outfit. His outfit's almost the same as Nathan Drake's.
Yeah. Yeah, Lucas, it also, yeah, it's got a good pace to it despite it being a 2-hour film. And you're already an hour and 36 in. I think there's probably only like 20 some minutes left and gone by super fast for the most part.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Another super chat.
Nasty little fellows like yourself always get their comeuppance. uh, Thank you, Togera. What Mike fix a pizza and go grab a drink? Matt did a Zach King magic trick where he reached over in between the line to Mike's screen to snatch a pizza. Now that would be cool.
Be a good trick.
I I don't know. I mean, it's Clive Barker, so I mean, maybe it would have a lot of mummy sex. I don't think I'd want to see that. Oof. Love that little knife trick he does. Even the way he uses his knife's got to be cool.
Wouldn't it be bleeding a lot more to
I know,
pull that big
yeah.
of a bird out of him?
Yeah. Yeah. PG-13, you know. They like we can't show how much it's going to bleed.
Right.
I mean, I agree, yeah, the Clive Barker version of The Mummy would probably be better than the Tom Cruise one, but yeah, I like this part too when the mummies come out of the wall. I was just thinking, like, Stephen Summers' approach to this, is it almost does it kind of give you some Sam Raimi vibes a little bit?
A little bit, yeah.
The whole sort of, comic book kind of style and flair. Definitely a good
Yeah.
approach. Works very well for this film. Then you have here's all the treasure. That's a lot of gold. No. Like that one's practical. The mummies that are coming out of the sand here are all done practical.
Definitely.
He's got the two guns. He throws one at the mummy. Like that's gonna do anything. Yeah, it is a good thing there's no leprechaun in this movie. Fucking leprechaun. Love that shot where he shoots the mummy in the head. Dynamite. Trust me. Yeah, this is that bit where the camel's like, "Fuck you." Like that really happened. The camel was like, "You suck. I don't like you at all, Kevin. I'm not going anywhere." The idea of being like turned into a mummy is also like pretty freaky. Think about it. It would suck.
Oh, definitely.
There was mummies and waxwork as well. Remember the mummy scene in that? More fun than a barrel full of mummies. That could be the tagline for
Yeah,
this
that's true.
movie. It's more fun than a barrel full of mummies. Whatever that means.
Yeah, I don't know what that means either.
Speaking of mummies, another good mummy bit of media is Creep Course and Tales from the Crypt. Anthony Michael Hall and Jeffrey Jones. Nina Samasco.
Oh, yeah, okay. I know what you mean now.
Man, there's so many of these damn mummies.
They like these mummies is nice, like they're done practically.
Yeah,
Nice explosion there, so there's a good
yeah,
mix of practical
definitely.
as well as the
As
other
well as
stuff.
CG like this. To be fair, this kind of liquid sort of that would be kind of difficult to do with like traditional visual effects. So
Right.
I think that's part practical, part CG. I think they did some CG touching up on that on a Naxamun's
Mm.
mummy. Jonathan, that wasn't smart. Look, I got this book. Yeah, coming up is a pretty awesome scene. Brendan with the sword. Love it. The choreography is just so good in this scene. It's a spinning mummy. Yeah. I think he kicked one of them in the nuts. Aren't any nuts left? It's like a mix of CG too, but like it's done well. Love that shot in particular. Mummies. just the one mummy hand. That's totally Sam Raimi.
Yeah, at the very least, inspired by it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. even that kind of even that kind of comedy Definitely reminiscent of some Army of the Darkness stuff.
And sorry if I have been a bit quiet for a bit. We have been having the greatest weather here, so I'm kind of having to watch two things at the same time.
Thank you, Togera. Another super chat. For some that don't know, Zach King does type of tricks where he jumps through TV screens, jump in the car without opening the door, use jacket zipper to get snacks from vending machine, and grab things from background. That is pretty cool. That's cool. Retro Scotty did a quick video of why Jerry Goldsmith is awesome. He's the Sandwall track. For Jesus would appear to the mummy and karate chop the mummy's head off, then Rotten Tomatoes may have given it a perfect score. I don't know. I still think they give it. Once again, this is great. It's like Brendan's channeling his inner Red Brown in this movie with all the screaming. I like that how these mummies they act differently too. Like they crawl on walls and leap around, more agile, and have a different look to them. Got a good variety of mummies in your mummy movie. Oh, that was so cool. It used his head. It smashed him in the head with this other guy's head. Fire kicks him into the water. Brennan is such a badass in this movie.
Definitely some fun choreography there. Yeah.
This is also really clever too, how it incorporates these particular mummies with the whole plan to stop Imhotep.
Yeah, definitely.
Where it's like, now we're gonna go after him. Go after Naxamun first. He cuts his arm off.
Freddie, like we mentioned that before about a straight up horror film. Don't think it would work in this instance.
But thank you, Freddie. Thank you for the super chat. Um, it could work. It just has to have the right approach and the right writer and director. But I think it's difficult. It's not like a vampire movie or something like those lines or there's other classic monster stuff. Quite the uppercut there by Imhotep. Also is like shredded in the for his role in this too.
No, definitely. If you look closely, you would see Brendan Fraser's face was turning blue from lack of
Yeah.
air.
Yeah. I thought it was a nice touch.
Mhm.
So- That'll do it. A little bit of blood there on his hand. I like how the liquid just slowly degenerates, you know, decomposes him all over again. It's a nice little touch. There's all these different faces in the liquid. Here we go. Benny can't help himself. Yeah, Freddie, I agree with that. Brendan was the closest thing. If you're talking about like an actor who's played a character like Indiana Jones, he's definitely the closest that I've ever seen come close to Harrison. Richard Chamberlain wasn't too bad either in King Solomon's Mines. You lost the book. Like, come on, let's go. Get fuck the book. Who cares? We are going to die.
So I do have to head out shortly. The weather's getting really bad here.
Well, it's
There's even
okay.
uh I
You
think
get.
things will be okay, but there's even a tornado watch
Oh, there's a tornado
around the
warning.
place.
Man.
Watch,
Okay.
tornado watch, but
Okay.
just you go outside, make sure everything's safe and
Okay.
secure. This is late at night, so that's why I've
Okay.
been quiet for a bit. Just keep it. It seems they're okay so far, but
Well, it's
always good
totally
to take precautions.
it's totally understandable, Matt. Like
So
safety first.
yeah. Thank you, Lucas. For sorry I wasn't talkative in the last half hour. Just
Hmm.
been it's just how it is out here. But Mike will end this, of course, when the movie's over and stuff, and he'll still
Yeah.
be here.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me on your channel, Mike. Thanks once
No
again,
problem.
Lucas.
No problem, Matt.
And we'll see you guys later.
All right. See you, Matt.
Bye bye.
Hopefully everything's all right. All right. So here we have Benny with the scarabs. Just like Evie said, you're going to get your comeuppance. And here it is. Bye, Benny. Yeah, Deep Rising sequel could have been fun. I mean, I don't know about that. It might work, might be good. Another mummy film, retro with Scotty with like Fraser and Weiss, but I mean, I don't know. I just think it would just maybe would just be too just nostalgic, just lazy nostalgia kind of stuff. Some dated CGI there with the thing collapsing, but it's such a brief shot. I can deal with it. Still a great moment of spectacle. Like the entire desert exploded. I don't think you needed that shot with the fake out scare like that. That wasn't really needed. Well, thanks, Lucas, for the request. Like it was a lot of fun revisiting this movie. Just leaving us here. Yeah, you definitely don't go home empty-handed if you got Rachel Wise at Evie. She's the real treasure. Such a great couple, Brendan and Rachel. Still got some treasure anyway. So I think the best of both worlds there. Got the real treasure and some gold. Then you have this score by Steven Summers. I mean, not Steven Summers. I mean, Jerry Goldsmith. I was just thinking of the credits because I've seen the. Man, I watched this film countless times growing up on VHS. So whenever the end credits start, I just think of Steven Summers. He's one of the first names that pops up. Great cinematography by Adrian Biddle. Great production design by Alan Cameron. Excellent editing by Bob Ducournau. Yeah. No, I haven't seen Midnight Ride. I've not seen that one. Steven Summers, maybe, but Steven Summers he hasn't done a film like this in forever, and I don't know if he still has it, in terms of that spirit of adventure and that flair. And honestly, I don't want to see another indie movie. The Isle of Destiny was so bad. I just let indie go. Like the whole scene in Last Crusade with the Holy Grail. Let it go. That's how I feel about that franchise. Unless you're gonna do another game, another video game, or like an animated series would be cool. I'd rather see that. Or the Adventures of Short Round. Thank you, Togera. Love to see a kaiju movie with my boy Togera. He's the Godzilla monsters, the PS2 War monsters, John Wick of kaijus and slice arms and heads. I mean, if Togera is that cool, like I'd love to see that. Maybe they might put Togera in one of the newer MonsterVerse movies. Maybe. I like the way that then credits are set up with the hieroglyphs. That's a fun little touch. No, Richard Scotty, I haven't seen Odd Thomas. I heard about it though, but I haven't seen that one. I know it's based on a comic, I think. And you're very welcome, Lucas. Once again, thank you so much. Thanks to everyone, by the way. Thanks for everyone who's joined in with the live stream tonight and uh, has been involved in the chat, has sent super chats. Really appreciate it. Should do this again some other time with a different movie. Yeah, I could see why that might be a lot for him. Like at a certain point, if you're a filmmaker and you've accomplished so much throughout your career, get to a certain age, certain point in your life, and it just isn't necessarily worth the hassle anymore. Odd Thomas is based on a novel. Okay. All right. So I guess I think I might have gotten it confused with. Oh, I know what I got it confused with. I got it confused with Dylan Dog. A lot of effects artists for this film. A lot of people worked on it, did some really good work. I don't think it's fair for people to judge this film like after all these years and dunk on it for its effects because like it's you have to have the context of things like in terms of like what was possible in terms of computer effects back in 1999. And if you compare it to other films from that era, like it's honestly technically impressive for the time. No, I don't think I've seen Catch Me If You Can. This is like one of the last really great scores that Goldsmith did too, if I remember correctly, because I think he did some other stuff in the 2000s, but I know that I think he passed away sometime in the 2000s, so I know he didn't do a ton of you know, work in that decade. I'm kind of surprised that they didn't have some like pop song or romance single, you know, like Mac Zorro. Like I'm surprised they didn't have that, but I think it's fine that they didn't have that for the film. I think they did that for The Mummy Returns, so I think that's actually a pretty dang good song too. Forgot exactly what that song was though. Been a while since I've seen The Mummy Returns. Yeah, I might as well. I might as well give watch the end credits. I mean, supposed to be a full movie commentary. Yeah, it's a great score. Retro Scotty, I have it on DVD or Blu-ray somewhere. So, Thomas. Almost sure to win the Worlds Collide remake of Flash Gordon in the 2000s. I think Flash Gordon could have been a good one. That could have been a good fit for Stephen Summers. You can see a lot of similarities between Flash, like Sam J. Jones's take on Flash in the 1980 film, and Rick O'Connell in this. They even like a sword, like using the sword. Yeah, the Mummy does have a 4K release, and I have the 4K. I stuck with a Blu-ray though, a rip though for the commentary because my monitor isn't good enough to really handle 4K and HDR that well. It's too dark. Yeah, this brings back a lot of memories. Classic for sure. This movie. Just watching it again. Spent a lot of time watching this on VHS. Thank you, Lucas. Definitely had fun. And have a good night, Lucas. I don't know if I'll do the Mummy Returns. If it's a request, I'll do it sometime. Might have to do it solo. I wouldn't mind. But anyway, folks, it's been like over 2 hours. I'm gonna call it a night as well. I have some things I gotta get together, gotta catch up on. But thank you, Togera, for one more super chat. Thank you so much. Togera looked like Godzilla, but the difference is Togera can stalk out his bladed and shoulder and leg spikes, and Spike's club tail. Fire breath is green. War of the Monsters is a fun kaiju game. Cool. Sounds cool. Thanks again for the super chat and for hanging out. And thanks to everybody for joining in. And yeah, it was fun. It's a fun time with a good friend and a good movie. And until next time, see you later. See ya.